So look, we're talking about PHTPlus, the software that helps shops become more efficient. Why don't we just give a overview of what PHTPlus is, what it does, and we'll start from there.
Sure, Tim, I can jump in there.
Mhm.
PHTPlus is a cloud-based, all-in-one ERP solution that's been specifically designed for plating, heat treating, powder coating, anodizing, galvanizing, any type of finishing product. So anywhere that somebody is taking a product in, receiving something from a customer, and they then perform a recipe, a process, a routing
Right.
on those parts, and then ship it back out. That's exactly where PHTPlus has been designed and created to live in that space, within that finishing space. So, we have the thing that makes us unique is that we're an all-in-one system. So what we hear from a lot of people within the finishing industry is, hey, Bobby, we're running on a 20, 30, 40-year-old system that, our uncle developed 45 years ago and it's not been updated, right?
Right.
And then we're also using QuickBooks or another accounting system. And we're also using a purchasing system and a time clock system and a fixed asset and all these various systems, and none of them talk well. None of them play nicely with each other. And so that's really how PHTPlus came to be, is that we had a local finishing company here in Kentucky that was using a base product from Microsoft that we supported. And they said, gosh, this is a great product, but this is manufacturing. A lot of these off-the-shelf systems are trying to force you into a manufacturing system. And I think we all agree that within the finishing industry, it's not manufacturing, right? It's a lot of the same themes, but it's not manufacturing. And so we actually sat down with them and developed this product probably 7 or 8 years ago, and kind of really mapped out the whole process of, receiving a product, all the various steps and processes to your services that you provide to it, shipping it back out, and then all the back office related stuff to that. And so once we kind of wrote this product for them, we kind of took a step back and said, wow, there's really a need within the industry here for that. And so that's really how PHTPlus came to be. And so, with that in mind, it has everything from traveler creation, what we call a traveler. Others call it work orders, routers, job shop orders, things like that. So we call it a traveler. We create that traveler. That traveler will go through the various routing or processes or recipe that is unique to, that finishing, powder coating, plating shop. And then it will go through anything from scheduling to creating the traveler. And we can do everything from barcode scanning to time capture to scheduling and everything in between. And so that's one of the things that really makes our system unique, is that it's a powerful solution, but it's also not so defined that you have to run your system this way. It can be, agile, and it can be manipulated to run how your shop runs. And so with PHTPlus, that's really one of the big benefits, is that we bring a lot of the power and backing of Microsoft, being built on a Microsoft product, but it's also flexible, where we can design the system to run how you and your team, your shop needs it to run. So that's kind of a brief introduction to PHTPlus.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because no two customers are alike for these shops, right? Some of them have various needs, want either needed to go to masking or other type of thing. Plus, it needs to have a unique coding to it. So it certainly sounds like it addresses that. Let's talk more about you kind of explain what it did, what the benefits to a shop. And like I said, I know a lot of them probably have no ERP system or anything that really they're doing still with paper, pencil, and trying to track that. So what benefits will a shop get by kind of integrating this into their system?
Yeah, I can take that one, Tim. So as Bobby said, I think, one major benefit is we're all in one system. We don't have an accounting system over here, and then a job shop over here, and then another system doing reporting. Everything is within, under one roof. And it's a full ERP. So you're getting the full power of Microsoft's industry-leading ERP with what we've added to it to give you that need for the shop floor. So again, you talk to shops out there, and they'll say, if I try to use ERP, they want me to use a bill of material. Well, we don't usually have bill of materials. in the finishing industry. So what our system does is addresses that piece, but then gives you all that power of the ERP. So that's number one. The other thing is full integration with the Microsoft suite. So we're all inside of this Microsoft suite. Outlook integration, Teams integration, Power BI, newly just released Copilot. So you've got your AI piece right there built into the system that comes with, it's out of the box with the system. So full integration with that MS suite, and that includes other things like Power Automate. So a lot of power just inside of that suite that we already integrate with, no problem. I think Bobby touched on this a little bit. The system's very easily customized. So we work with our customers, and we'll get into this, I think, in a little bit, but we'll go on site, talk to them, figure out what their needs are, and we can customize the system. It almost acts as like an app on your phone. What we can do is add functionality through an extension, and then that does not touch the base code. So you're still getting upgrades to the base Microsoft system, but you're getting your customization as well. And all that is happening without the cost of in 3 years, if I need to upgrade to the new version, I don't have that cost because it's upgrading as Microsoft releases them. So it's adding functionality as well as it's configurable. So we set up a workflow with our customers. We use what's called a status, and we use what we call traveler actions. Between those two things, you can really build that workflow out. If I need to print a label after inspection, shoot it out at this step. Maybe I need to do a shipping label at shipping, ship that out. Need to send a cert through email. All of that can be configured, and you set up where you want those actions to occur. So that's a big benefit. You can really get the system to do what you want. I mean, we've completely automated someone's invoicing. So the system, as soon as they ship it, it's creating the invoice, it's emailing it off to the customer, and all that's happening along with the surcharges and whatever there might be that need to be added as invoices, all happening automatically. So that gives you that option to do that. Big benefit there. And then I think another big one is just the ability to grow. So there's lots of software out there, for a job shop and QuickBooks. Let's say you integrate with QuickBooks, but if you're growing, QuickBooks you're gonna run out of that space eventually. Auditors don't want to look at QuickBooks. It's got a little bit, so you need to be able to get out of that. And this gives you that ability. We already have the financials built in, completely set up, but it gives you the ability to go to multiple locations. So there's a couple different ways to grow, right? I grow my space so that I can get more. This is easy to add those, but then also to diversify. So we've got customers that do fabrication as well as their plating, and the system's already built for that fabrication. You can do production orders in the traditional sense, as well as your travelers for the finishing side. So all of that is available. You can have those different lines of business, and then you're able to grow just within the system. So I don't need just a shop, and then I got to go get an ERP to run my production. I've already got it built in, and as I grow, the system's ready for it.
Right. Yeah. As someone who just recently, I switched over to Office 365 for everything, and I was really surprised at what, I'm familiar with Word, Excel, those type of things, but then became more really surprised at all that they have. And like you said, integrating all that and getting it to talk, I think is crucial. And certainly, like you said, with even some AI, I see they're bringing along too. So that's, like I said, when you got something that's powered by Microsoft, that seems like a huge deal with that. Not a, a huge player in all that industry of that.
Right. And I think it's important too, because it's built on Microsoft. Not saying we're going to go anywhere, but if we were to, we end up getting hit by a bus or something, there's other ways to get supported in the Microsoft ecosystem. So, if you go to something where it's, homegrown, or it's just a custom system that's built by one company, if they go away, well, then you're out of luck. And we see that when we talk to prospects, our system, they just stop supporting it. So I got to go to something different. You're pretty safe knowing you're in the Microsoft ecosystem. You'll be able to get help if that need arises.
Right. And like I said, that it seems to me that's got to ease the integration of it. Most facilities have some type of Microsoft system that they're running, but it seems like with integration and the fact that, like I said, you all have kind of, I guess when you first started this and ingrained yourself into the finishing world and knew all the nomenclatures and all the unique things it has to do. It seems that integration probably is pretty seamless to kind of get it up and going.
Yeah, I mean, I think our process is, as we do our implementations, there's no plug here to integrate with this system, this one. Once we install it, you could start using it right away if you wanted to. Now, obviously, we're going to do our due diligence as we build that out. So we always start with what we call a process workshop with our customers, which we'll go on site, see how they're doing business, what their needs are, so that we can set the system up to fit their needs. So that's kind of our first step. But yeah, there's no, we don't have to work an API over here to the Sage or whatever it might be to get the systems. We're just going to, it takes 10 minutes, spin it up. There you go. You could be in there working if you wanted to. Now, typically it's going to be a little bit of an implementation process, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just a quick flip the switch and you're off and running.
Right. You talked about service. That seems to be the big scary point for a lot of people is, if I get this in, is it, will I help get the service to get it going? I know ramping things up is a little bit difficult for some people, especially if you're converting them from something that maybe they've never had. It's something, but talk about that, other services that you all help these facilities with, not just with the software. What other services do you provide to them?
Yeah, I can jump in there. So, as a service company, a consulting company, TrinSoft has been around for a while. We were founded in 1996. So that's 28 plus years of supporting clients, really just helping to drive automation, helping to make them be more efficient, helping to eliminate manual processes. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. So we have this analogy here at TrinSoft. We say, let's be sure we can crawl before we walk and walk before we run. We certainly want to get running 100 miles an hour, but let's be sure we're doing it in a stepwise fashion that makes sense. And so a lot of those services are the types of things that we do. So we're meeting with clients, looking at where do we have a bottleneck? Where do we have manual processes? Where are different systems touching the system, or where is somebody taking information from one system and putting it into another? And we try to eliminate those types of things through APIs, through web services, through integrations, like Matt talked about. And then some of the other things that you hit on that we've not even talked about is that, again, we have built-in financials. So, thinking about not having to connect with QuickBooks, and we can support you in that way as well. And then we also have reporting. So there are, I believe it's over 500 native canned reports within PHTPlus. And then there's also a very powerful reporting tool from Microsoft called Power BI, which is an incredible data reporting and visualization system where you can take data inputs from multiple systems. So you think about PHTPlus as one system, think about a CRM system, think about your various PLCs out on the line. Anywhere that's collecting those data, we can bring it in, multiple data systems into one kind of repository. And then as long as we can build relationships and say, okay, this traveler number was run through this line, and here's as long as we can build a connection, we can build some pretty incredible reporting for real-time dashboards, KPIs, metrics that will really help you to run your business in real time, which is what we want. We really push our clients to, let's move away from monthly reporting, because let's be honest, by the time most shops do monthly reporting, they're already 15, 20 days into the month after that. And so we really push our clients, let's get to some daily, some weekly reporting, so we really know how the business is running. Now, we still have to do monthly reporting. We still got to run a balance sheet, still got to do our income statement, profit and loss, cash flow. But let's be sure that those are more of a, yes, that's kind of where we thought we'd land. We really try to identify those key reports, key metrics throughout the day, throughout the shift, throughout the week, that are really going to let us know, okay, hey, we're running at 80% efficiency, or hey, we're pushing 100, 110, we're running overtime, those type things, or hey, things are really slow, we got to get the salespeople out there and, drum up some business, things like that. So Power BI really helps with that, because it's real-time data. It can be integrated directly into PHTPlus. You can hit it on a tablet, on a phone, on a laptop, anywhere that you have, that Power BI app, you can see data, and you can stream those reports out in various ways through email. You can push them to shared folders. You can embed them in PowerPoint presentations, so they're instantly updated. So just a lot we can do with reporting that's really nice. And then the biggest thing I think Matt hit on earlier was development. We have a full team development team on staff. That's another thing that's unique about us, is that all of our development is done in-house. We don't outsource any of our development. So when Matt and his team have questions from clients and they need to work with developers, they just walk right down the hall into their offices, and it's real time. We're not having to work with anybody outside the US or in any other area. And so Matt and his team can do some incredible things with development and PHTPlus, and where they can really drive some incredible work and drive some really nice automation. And so those are the big pieces. And then there's some other ancillary stuff around, just basic assessments. Hey, how's our shop running? Benchmark us against, some other shops. So we do what we call assessments. We do some best practices, those type things. But those are the general services that we offer. We've been doing it, like I said, 28 some years, and that's kind of how we've built this TrinSoft and built this PHTPlus tool to just help bring automation, help bring kind of that single source of truth. We want to eliminate what we call data silos. So if you think about QuickBooks, a traveler system, and fixed asset system, we want to kind of bring it all into one single source of truth. And that's what we try to do with PHTPlus and supporting our clients.
Yeah. It's funny is that you mentioned about it is that data collection, which again, a lot of people are not, and collecting that. And then again, a lot of people aren't even acting on the data, correct? I mean, it's right. Hard sometimes for them to interpret it. And I say that, not that they're not smart enough, but a lot of them are just out there selling and coding, right? They, they're not taking a step back and looking at data to see where things are. And that's the big thing. I think some of the most successful companies that really do look at their data, act on their data, share their data with their teams. And that seems to be having a system like PHTPlus would give them that like you said, at their fingertips, not just monthly, daily, but at the moment, right? I mean, they can look and see where things are.
Yeah, we can design the system through, as Matt talked about, with traveler actions, with statuses, where we can literally take action and see where things are in live time. So we can, if a traveler is being processed and it has to be split into 10 batches or whatever that may be, we can say, okay, batch 1 is through this process, and here's batch 2 and 3, and we can run estimates and say, hey, this is when it will be finished, and even to the point of sending automated updates to the client through web portals or other things, saying, hey, job 1 of 10 is done, and the next 9 will be done by this time. Now, that is certainly a double-edged sword, right? Because that's if you're falling behind, your clients will certainly be screaming. But those are the type of capabilities that we can certainly offer. But talking about data, that's huge. I've heard it said that data is the new oil, right? It's immensely valuable, and it's immensely beneficial to your organization. But you have to be able, to your point, Tim, understand the data, know what that data is telling you. And that's really what we try to do with Power BI, with PHTPlus, and that's how we try to help our clients.